Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Well, back out here at the hammer testing location. Never thought I would say that. Let me catch you up a little bit on the lore here. This is a brand spanking new Estwing rock hammer. They want to call it a rock pick, but it's rock hammer. In this previous video here, I tested the heck out of this because you might be aware that they now label these saying that they will break if you hit a hardened object like a rock. Now, in that video, I managed to first off, absolutely mash the face of this, and we threw chips off of it. So they are being truthful when they say that if you hit something hard like a rock, well, it'll break. And they say to only use it for wooden stakes, which I can confirm that. Now, a lot of people have, I guess, an affinity towards Estwing. They love the brand, you know. But here's the thing. Brands change over time. I have no brand loyalty. My loyalty is to you, the viewer, and to high-quality items. Speaking of good viewers and high-quality items, all the people that support this project over on Patreon and, watch exclusive videos and participate in the monthly giveaways and all of that over there, they're the ones that fund things like this, because I buy these with my own money and do the testing myself. Nothing is sponsored here. I just do this because I find it to be truly interesting. So we know that something is different with this rock hammer than the Estwings of yesteryear that do not chip out. So I would highly suggest you go watch that video as well. So this this costs about 40 bucks. Made in America of US steel, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Here we have the Ox Tools rock hammer, and unlike Estwing, these guys say, when describing their hammer, the square face is designed to withstand striking rocks and driving chisels. The pointed pick is designed for cracking open hard rocks. Now we're going to test the heck out of that. We are comparable in price. So basically both of these are 40 bucks. They're both like a drop forged item. You know, we can see that line on the bottom of these. Dimension wise, they're virtually the same. The Ox Tool has a slightly thicker handle, which that might be a problem if you're a kid or a small-handed woman or man. I wear a size large glove, so it doesn't really affect me a whole lot. Made in China. Now, let's talk about that real quick. Things made in America are not necessarily good, just like things made in China are not necessarily bad. However, I can say when it comes to manufacturing, if I wanted to make this hammer in the state of Utah, and I contacted everybody, I found somebody to do it, they would give me a price, and it's like, that's the price, right? It's not a haggling scenario. When it comes to China, you can definitely be like, I need to pay less than that. And they will figure out a way. If that means having your thing made in a factory with a dirt floor and children working there, they can do that. They can also make something as high-end as we can make here. Generally, people don't do that, though, because it's comparably expensive. The reality is a super high-end $1 million CNC 5-axis machine here kind of costs the same amount to run over there or whatever. So they say that we can hit things with this. We're going to test that now and see if we get a similar result to the Estwing, or if this actually withstands the abuse of thumping on these. And then we're going to go try to break it on some significantly harder rock as well. All right, I'm going to go grab some gloves, put my eyes on, and switch cameras so I don't break you. give me your opinion on the handles. Like, what do you think? You've swung an Estwing a lot. You haven't really ever held an Ox Tools hammer. This one's clearly a thicker handle, though.
Yeah, it's thicker and it has less of a taper at the end for holding, gripping.
I would say my initial impression is that the Estwing handle is nicer. Now, that could also just be because that's what I've used.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, like, this feels more refined, I guess, than this.
Yeah.
I would say hitting a ton of rocks, that the Ox Tools did hold up a little bit better, but it's also a little subjective. Here's Ox there. Kind of hard to know exactly. We can try to determine some more back in the shop. You know, when you're just kind of swinging away on things, it's hard to know. But I felt like this transferred a little more energy into the elbow than the wooden stake hammer. But just like we saw with the Estwing, hitting this volcanic rock, it kind of mushed up the face a little. Not as bad as this.
Yeah.
The real test is to go beat on some agates, because that's kind of that's the hard thing, right? Like, I mean, in the perfect world, you are never hitting a rock with any of these. What you're doing is you're bringing chisels, and you're using a hammer to hit your chisel. But just like many people, maybe we're going on a hike and we don't know exactly what we're doing. Rock hammer goes in the backpack. You're not going to hike half a mile, 1 mile back to the car, get a chisel, hike a mile back, break a rock, then walk back. So you end up using these to hit rocks. So whether or not you agree or disagree, people do hit rocks with these. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're trying to test here. Is like, you know, they say you can't, they say you can. Where do they rank? So, with that said, let's go smash some agates.
Yeah.
Some people on the internet will be shedding a tear for the agates, but there's plenty. Don't worry. I'm not going to break a ball. I think we'll know real quick, just like the Estwing, which had bits shoot off, if this is going to have bits shoot off. I'm not going to insert the picture here, but somebody did send me a picture of a bloody hole in their leg, and they had to go to the ER, and they dug out a piece of metal from an Estwing rock hammer. So, you know, yeah, just imagine a gross bloody image, I guess, because I don't want to show you that here on YouTube. All right, let's head up to the next spot. Last time I was here on the Estwing, it took about 2 swings for it to start chipping out. About 10-15 swings for it to really like throw chunks into my body in a not fun way. So instead of safety glasses, I'm wearing a face shield. I don't exactly feel like going to the hospital today. So let's break this agate up with this hammer and see if this hammer gives or if the rock gives. Because that's the test, right? This is obviously hard enough to break an Estwing. Whoop. Yeah, well, the chip just went launching off of the face. Well, there's that. Maybe I'll do a little bit more. That's a bummer. Maybe You can't hit anything. Ever. Let's do a couple more swings. Yeah, it's getting, chunks are coming off of this. Crazy. It's like, we'll switch to the good camera in a little bit, but it's a little different. It's not like, it doesn't look like it's peeling off chips. It's more, I guess, dense. Like it's really compressing into it. Which, if my limited metallurgical knowledge would state that you're probably better off having something just dent and the materials stay put. It's really hard to tell out here if this is chipping or just like denting. So I'm going to do a couple more solid swings here. And then just like before, when we go back to the shop, we can look at it under the microscope and see if we see any of that like micro discoloration from chips of rock breaking off and launching out at high speeds. Because, yeah, a dent is good, a flying piece of metal, not good. All right, let's head back up there. Weird angle. Let's head back up there and look at these with the good camera. So Estwing on the left, Ox on the right. Gosh, those sure do look similar, don't they? I guess what doesn't come across is this feels like a sharp burr on the Estwing, and this feels less sharp and more mushed inside, like I just was mushing it. But the microscope doesn't lie, so that's the next step. Looking at this under the microscope to see if we can determine anything about it. I drilled a lanyard hole.
What did you find inside of it?
It is the same as an Estwing, which is it's just rubber. And then you're not going to be able to see this, I bet. It's hard. Maybe you can see a little glimpse right there. There's a long metal flat tang. They call it a tang in things like this, but basically it tapers down and runs all the way down, probably to like all the way. I mean, I can kind of feel it pressing really hard. Similarly, when I drilled a hole, you can kind of see maybe a little bit there, I hit metal. So there's a long flat piece of metal that runs all the way. I feel like there might be a plastic cap under this rubber. So I think after looking at these under magnification, the heads, it seems like this one has far more dents in it and very few like missing pieces. This one, the Estwing, definitely had missing pieces that left at such velocity that the metal was discolored from heat. Yeah. This did not experience that. We can, let's see, line these up. So that's what we're looking at. I think the Ox performed better. You know, obviously you're only seeing one test. There's a huge amount of data behind Estwings in the good, and now we're going into the bad. The Ox, I feel like ergonomics, right? Estwing wins, right? You know, it just seems like a more refined idea of a handle.
This kind of feels like a knockoff.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit it does. By way of comparison, we have a relatively cheap screwdriver, round handle, and then we have a Matco triangular handle. When you go like that, what do you see? You don't see a circle, you see a triangle. This was made by people that had something in mind. I feel like this handle design with its like long taper is definitely a more pleasing tool to use. But if it's going to potentially shoot a piece of metal at you, does that negate the quality of the handle?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't need to hold it very hard for hitting things with, then it's not as big of a deal.
I've learned that the idea that like something can change and like in a metallurgical way is really difficult to understand. The process of understanding metals, heat treatments, tempering, like, you know, because these are an alloy, right? So it's not like a pure thing, you know. It's really hard. And then add to that, people have their fond, fuzzy memories of Estwing, and, you know, they want American made, which I totally get, but that only really means something if it's not junk, right? Like, you can be lazy and stupid regardless of where you're from. And, you know, we were talking about brands that have changed.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that you brought up was all the different bike companies.
Yeah.
Like Mongoose. Mongoose used to make sweet BMX bikes in the 80s and 90s. Now they're a Walmart brand. Was it Specialized?
I think Specialized, yeah.
What about KitchenAid mixers?
Yeah.
Like an old KitchenAid mixer is like way more durable, way better motor, way better everything than the modern entry-level KitchenAid mixers. So brands can decline over time, and it's hard to know what exactly. I mean, obviously they're doing something different with these now because of money.
Yeah. I mean, that's one would assume. Pretty safe assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what? Is it like a quality control problem? Do they cheapen out in some other way? Is there like some, you know, CEO, CFO that's like, oh, we need to like pinch every penny? You're never going to really know. That's what I think. I think you're never going to know, but we can only know what the end results of that process are. So if today, being that these are exactly the same price, or close to it, or this one's a little bit more money, I would probably buy an aux grip. And you know, that's just, you're only seeing this one instance, right? Is this an outlier? Are the other aux grip hammers garbage? Maybe. We don't really know. Yeah. I never thought I would see the day where there's so many broken Estwings popping up. I never thought I would be like, oh, I'm going to go smack some chalcedony and break some chunk sleeves and pieces of metal will go flying. I never thought I would see the day. So you never know. I mean, aux grip might be good now, but in the next batch from China is not good.
Yeah. It's
really hard to know. But I do think when looking at sub $50 hammers or sub $45 hammers, I'm leaning towards this guy. Do you have any thoughts on it? I mean, I know you didn't really do all the swinging, but you're seeing the results.
I mean, the best thing is get an old Estwing because the handle's not as good.
Yeah.
Try to get an old Estwing.
We do have an old Estwing, but do we want to
test it?
Yeah, we can, I guess.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot.
Have they always been bad? Nobody's ever really whacked at some chalcedony over and over again.
One thing to factor in is we don't have a new old Estwing. We have old Estwings that we've used a ton.
Yeah.
Is that the same test? Right? Like,
someone will have a problem with it no matter what you do. There will be complainers.
You know, it's one thing to take something out of a box and test it. It's another thing to be like, this thing that we've had kicking around for 7 years, we're testing it.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like maybe people would be like, you're doing it wrong, get a time machine.
They can give us a time machine.
I like how you think. Well, hey everybody, maybe I don't have the best conclusion here. Is this better than an Estwing? Marginally, maybe, marginally. Handle, no. Maybe the metal, slightly.
I mean, if you're not like really whaling on really hard rocks, probably fine with the Estwing.
Also, you can drill a lanyard in these pretty easily.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you use this appropriately for wooden stakes only.
Even hitting softer.
Yeah, it
Rocks,
only hits soft rocks. But yeah, I'm really curious. You know, I don't know all the things. This is just kind of some data points for you.
But this one's good. So if you are looking to hit some rocks or something,
I mean, if I was going to go beat on rocks, I'm going to pick this up now instead of this. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I buy all of these things with my own pennies. So if you can support this project, please do so by heading on over to Patreon. All of the proceeds kind of go into this big project, which is currently Rockhounding and currentlyrockhounding.com. I'll catch you in the next video. A little bit of a bonus for those of you who made it all the way to the end. If you're looking for an old Estwing, well, I have an assortment of Estwings here, and you'll notice the logo difference. So from oldest to newest, we have printed Estwing, and the wear safety glasses, but you're mostly looking for the print with the wing USA, and then the embossed with the wing. And then we get into the modern, like, no wing, large capitalized font. If I'm shopping for used hammers on eBay to find a good one, I'm probably looking for the old printed style.
but that's not even that old though.
Yeah, no, that's like 8 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. The logo changes, but let me know. You know, what's your logo look like, and is it actually a good hammer? Also, side note, the little end piece here, so that's not going to show up at all. One says, let's see, we got the reduction grip, we got the patent on this one, and then this one there's like patent but misstamped.
Oh. Is that all of them or just that one?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, look for the printed logo if you're looking to buy used.